Hello everyone, welcome to the video series on Python programming. In this video, we are going to learn about data types in Python. The type of data that is stored in a variable is represented using a data type. The data stored in the memory can be of many types. For example, a student's marks can be saved as a numeric value, while the student's address can be stored as alphanumeric characters. Integer is one of the data types. This represents the integer numbers, that is, the numbers without any fractional parts are stored in the variables. There are three types of integers in Python. Int stores the value within a certain range, while long int supports the values that lie beyond the range of int. Boolean is another type of integer data type where the logical values are represented in the form of true and false. In Boolean, 0 represents false while 1 represents true. Float data type represents the floating point values. For example, 3.14, 57.18 are the numbers with fractional parts which can be stored in variables. The fractional part of a floating point number can be 0 as well. Another kind of data type is the string data type. This data type represents strings of characters enclosed within single or double quotation marks. For example, Saurabh, hello, India can be strings. The value 35 is an example of the int data type, while 68.7 is a floating point number, hence it comes under float data type. The computer is a string data type, while 9 greater than 4 that returns the value true is an example of Boolean data type. Input function in Python is used to accept the value for a variable from the user. To input integer and float values, we can use int or float along with the input function. The input function by default takes one string argument. So whatever is entered by the user will be taken as a string argument, and in order to change it into int or float data type, we need to use the int and float commands along with the input function. Let's see how the input function in Python can be used to take the input from the user. Num1 is equal to input, enter first value, press enter. So as we have used the input function, the command is asking me to enter the value 400. Num2 is equal to input, enter second value. I'll enter the second value as 600. Now let's try to add these values using the addition operator. Sum is equal to num1 plus num2. Enter. Print sum. I'm using the print function to display the output on the screen. So now if you observe, the string value 400 and the string value 600 have been combined together and displayed as a string instead of adding 400 and 600. That is because the input function by default takes the values in a string data type. If we want to take the input in integer or floating point numbers, then we'll have to add int or float along with the input function. Now let's try to multiply these values. print num1 into num2. Enter. So it has given me a type error because multiplication between two non-integer types is not possible. So in order to multiply num1 and num2, we'll have to first convert it into integers. Now let's try to add two integers using the input function in Python. Num1 is equal to int, since we want the input as an integer, input enter first value. The first value is 400. Num2 is equal to int input. I want the second number to be an integer as well. So enter second value. I'll enter the second number as 650. Now print sum of two numbers, comma, I want to add num1 plus num2, so I'll write num1 plus num2. So now the sum of two numbers, that is 400 plus 650, has been displayed on our output screen successfully. Now let's write a Python program in the script mode to swap two numbers. X is equal to int, since I want the input value to be an integer, input enter the value of x. Similarly, y is equal to int input enter the value of y. Now I want to swap the values of x and y, so I'll write a command for that. X comma y is equal to y comma x. So my x will get the value of y and y will get the value of previous x. Now let's print these swapped values. Print after swapping value of x. Okay, I put the quotes wrong. So I have put the print statement in quotes, comma, and x. Similarly, print after swapping value of y colon comma y. So let's see the output of this code. Let's run this program. Enter value of x, I'll enter 10. Enter value of y, I'll enter 20. So the values have been swapped successfully. My new x is 20, that was the previous y, and the new value of y is 10. Let's write a Python program in the script mode to calculate the area and perimeter of a square. So let's print what we are doing first. Print calculate area and perimeter of a square. Now side is equal to int. We require the length of the side of a square. So input, enter the side of square. Now we need to write the formula to calculate the area of square. So area is equal to side into side, which is nothing but side square, which is the area of square. Now perimeter can be stored in the variable Pm is equal to 4 into side. So we have written the formulas for area and perimeter of the square. Now let's print the calculated values. Print area of square is area, and print perimeter of square is Pm. Let's run the program. Now I'll enter the side of the square as 4. Okay, so area of the square is side square, that is 4 square is 16, and the perimeter of square is 16 because 4 into 4 gives us 16. So in this case, area and perimeter are equal. The print function in Python is used to print a message or a value on the output screen. Now it converts the message into a string before it prints it on the output screen. It can have multiple parameters. Now the comma operator can be used as a separator among the values so that the values are displayed with space between them on the output screen. Similarly, a tab space can be used as a separator among the values so that the values are displayed on the screen with a tab space between them. Now, a new line character in Python is used to end a line and start a new line. The new line character can be used with the print function so that all the lines are printed on a new line property. Let's try to use the comma operator in a Python program. X is equal to 5, y is equal to 15, z is equal to 25. So the variables x, y, z have been assigned certain values by us. Now print x, comma, y, comma, z. Let's run this code by going to run and click on run module. So we got the output as 5 space 15 space 25. Thus, using the comma operator gives us the values that are separated by a space between them. Now let's try to use the tab escape sequence. X is equal to 5, y is equal to 15, z is equal to 25. Print x, comma, the tab escape sequence is used by writing \t, comma, y, comma, again I'll write \t in quotes, comma, z. Let's run this code. So the values of x, y, and z have been printed on the output screen with a tab space between them, as we have used the tab escape sequence with the print function. Now let's use the new line character in Python. Name is equal to input, enter your name. Now state is equal to input, enter your state name. Now print my name is, comma, name. So it should print my name is and the name that has been entered by the user. Then I want to print this next statement on the next line. So I'll use the new line character, that is \n, and I am from, comma, state. So let's try to run this program. Go to run and click on run module. So it is asking me to enter my name, Shriya, enter. I'll enter the state name as Maharashtra, enter. So it has printed my name is Shriya and I am from Maharashtra on two different lines. That is because we have used the new line character which ends the first line and starts a new line. The new line character that we used is \n. In this video, we learned about the data types such as int, boolean, float, string, and how these data types can be used to represent the type of value stored in a variable. We also learned about the input function and print function and how these can be used to print different statements on the output screen in Python. Thank you.